Good evening, reeds and rushes. I am Glab, keeper of little truths and long memories. And if you'll tuck your toes in and lend me your ears, I shall tell you how the world learned to turn. In the first days, so early that even the mud had not thought of being mud, there was only earth, rock and stone. A bright lamp hung in the sky and would not budge. A pale lantern sulked on the other side and would not budge either. One half of the world was dry and dazzled. The other half was a hard, glittering cold you could crack your thoughts on. It was all very inconvenient for picnics. Then one morning, or perhaps one evening, who can say when mornings and evenings hadn't been invented yet, a feathered hush swept the high blue. Maha woke. With a tilt of wing and a blink like a midnight wink, Maha took to the air. And from the blaze behind the hills came a fierce cry and a rush of wind. Dragonhawk woke too, shaking sparks from its pinions like seeds. They noticed one another, Maha, calm and keen, Dragonhawk, bright and burning, and did what such beings often do when they meet for the first time. They raced, they wheeled and chased, they darted and doubled back, and wherever they went, the bright lamp and the pale lantern followed, pulled along like kites on very old strings. Colours spilled across the high places, rose and gold, indigo and milk blue, the sort of colours that make you say, oh, without meaning to. Ice sweated into water and clouds puffed up like fresh bread. The world, which had been holding its breath, let it out, slowly. With the sky lively and the great lights now content to take turns, the stones began to feel a tickle. Out of the deep, a luge stirred. You can hear the name even now in every waterfall if you listen politely. A luge rolled its shoulders and waves rolled with them. Ponds winked into existence. Lakes set their mirrors out to catch the new light. Storms tucked themselves under Eluge's fins and went visiting, never overstaying but never apologizing either. Not to be left behind, for no one enjoys being left behind. Wildseer leapt from the roots of the world, all ember and ash and a grin like hot iron. Wherever Wildseer planted a paw, the ground heaved and shouldered upward. Mountains rose in sturdy lines. Volcanoes practiced their chimneys. Now I am fond of a warm rock on a cool morning, but even I must admit Wildseer sometimes gets carried away. Whole forests singed because a tail swished at the wrong moment. Eluge was very tidy about splashing things out afterwards. This, you see, is how arguments become geography. With the sky moving and the land no longer shy, something else took a breath it didn't know it had. From the green hush beneath stones and the quiet under puddles, Lumra woke. Wherever Lumra wandered, small hopes sprouted into stems, and stems into leaves, and leaves into woods. Grasshood arrived, quite suddenly, and flowers began practicing their colours with an enthusiasm that has never entirely worn off. One day there was a bare slope, the next a meadow, and no one found the meadow odd, which is the oddest part of all. But there is a wisdom in the world as well as wonder, and it does not heap without also tidying. From the cool edges of shadow and the stillness under roots came Yigra, padding softly, eyes half-lidded as if hearing music. Where Yigra passed, the too much became just enough. Stalks browned and bowed, fruit returned its sweetness to the soil. Old trees sighed, lay down, and were not troubled about it. Folk fear Yigra, which is sensible in the short term, but in the long term we owe more than we like to admit. Without room to end, there is no room to begin, and I should know, having begun several times myself. Thus did 6 great names stroll into the world and stomp tracks we still follow. Maha and Dragonhawk above, Eluge and Wildseer abroad, Lumra and Yigra below and between. They were not always courteous housemates. In time, because even the great grow fond of habits, the 6 found places that pleased them. The world settled into its creak and hum. Kettles boiled. Crickets tuned. We took to telling stories. Yet, every so often, perhaps when the year is thinking of changing its coat, 2 of them meet at a corner. These meetings are not always comfortable. They can be loud. They can be smoky. Sometimes the map must be redrawn and the lunch packed twice. But when the dust and drizzle finish talking, the world has learned a new shape for wonder to sit in. So if, on some crisp evening, you feel the air grow sharp and the horizon change its mind, if the moon seems closer than usual, or the sun lingers as though telling one last joke, if the hills hum or the ponds walk a little, do not be alarmed. Pack your courage, pack your crusts, and mind your friends. The world is only being made again, as it has been since before there was mud to be mud. Now then, fold your ears, still your ripples. That is the tale as I carry it. Should any of the six wish to correct me, they know where to find this old frog. I am usually at the water's edge, counting stars and saving a biscuit for whoever arrives first.